Welcome to EFT MBA Mastering Business Acumen with the help of EFT business experts. Learn the marketing, mindset, and skill set you need to create the EFT coaching practice of your dreams. Visit www.eftmba.com for more information. And now, here's the EFT training team that embodies the art and science of EFT. Alina Frank and Dr. Craig Weiner.
Hello, everyone. And I kind of goofed up there. You know what happened? We're using a new system to call in and record this. And for whatever reason, there's a really long delay. But here we are, another show. And Craig, you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. On your mark, go, get set, go. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Do you hear that sound?
No.
That is the sound of the EFT MBA program closing for another 6 months. It's like down to the last few days. So if you are really interested in if you're really interested in seriously working on your issues around getting paid, what you're worth, doing all of the business and marketing and the mindset tapping that is required to really get you up there to a six-figure income with your EFT business, and I seriously suggest you check out and apply for the MBA program because it's closing for another 6 months. And what we hear from people is, I wish I had done this earlier on. So I go check it out, EFT MBA, and one of the things that we're going to cover today are things that we go into in much, much greater detail in the program, and that is pricing and charging what you're worth. And I just hear so much struggle from EFT coaches about this. And so I found a recording that I did for the show, and I decided that this is what we're going to do for the bulk of today's show is play that session of me working with an EFT coach who has problems asking for packages, because packages is something that you really should think about. There are many reasons to have packages, which we've covered in another show, but we definitely cover in the MBA program. But when you're first starting out, so let's talk about the progression and the process, because you cannot charge the top dollar for your sessions on day one of you going through having gone through a training. You're not going to feel congruent with that. Most people that are in this profession are highly ethical and authentic, and they would have a really hard time doing that. And I've heard business coaches suggest that, and it's completely wrong. So we believe that there really should be a progression, because you'll actually see it work and you'll feel more congruent with charging more later on. So the first level is, Craig?
Well, the first level is what's happening when you are going through, for example, your training and your certification, right? And what you're
Craig,
looking for.
Could you speak up? Could you speak up? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, well, I'll speak even louder. How's that?
That's great.
Okay, so the first level is really looking at what's happening when you're going through your training and your certification process, if that's what you're going through. This is where you're looking to create equal exchange. And you're looking for people to work on. You're looking for the ability to gain experience and training. So at that level, you're probably not charging anything. And the energy exchange is your experience that you're getting from them, and the benefits of the beginning work that you're doing with them is what benefits them. And so this is a great way to begin. There's equal. Both people are getting a lot out of it. And that's really the way that most practitioners should be beginning.
Right,
Think of it as
and
a form
that is
of tithing and equal exchange, right?
Yeah, and some of the organizations that we train for actually say that you can't charge until you have gone through a certain process, right? So, so I say set up the amount of clients that you want to see before in the process of getting certified or getting real experience under your belt, and then you can start charging. So the next level is a starting place that is the least that you can charge without doing yourself a disservice of going to, just in this place of being resentful about the time exchange. You find yourself maybe annoyed when you have a lot of clients at that low rate. I think there is definitely a sweet spot between what you feel comfortable charging and just a slightly higher amount than you feel comfortable with, and tapping on that. And Craig, do you want to say anything else about this starting place?
No, I think that really the place you're getting used to that transition of basically having for a while given your services away, and now you're charging, and you don't want to set up a roadblock of such discomfort that it halts you energetically from growing your practice. So it's an incremental step up where you're beginning to charge. I like what Alina said, that it's just one increment beyond what you're comfortable with, right? So there's a little stretch, but it's not a huge stretch that you're not even telling people about your fees, because otherwise what happens is you'll say it, and the minute you see a look in their face, you're going to go, yeah, but we really have a sliding scale program, and I can really do it for you. You're going to back down too quickly if you're incongruent.
Yeah, and people are going to hear that, and they're going to say, well, they're not valuable then. If they're already telling me about how they can cut the fee, then what value is that? It must be worth less. So next is when you have established, so now you've gone through your training or certification, you've started to charge clients. Then is the next level, and that is when you really, you should already have packages in place. You should already be thinking about so the best way to come up with this, again, is either amount of time. So say, first level of charging, I'm going to do that for 6 months. And from then on out, I'm going to bump it up even more. Or a certain amount of people. I will have worked with 25 people and on their issues with my starting base fees, and then I'm going to bump it up, because you will have gained experience, knowledge, and that makes you more valuable. So you should naturally start charging more. And then 4, let's go over the last one, and then I really want to get to playing this session.
Okay, and then on the next one, really what we're looking at is now you started to gain experience. Now you're actually not just gaining experience, but you're actually starting to value and see the results that is happening in people's lives. And as you're starting to basically value what we call the outcomes that you're providing, in other words, how is it that they have gained new relationships, have accelerated in their business, have been able to expand their business opportunities, and you're starting to see the results, and your price then gets based on the value of what you provide to the people that you're working with. So it's not just about how long you've been in practice. It's not just about how much you feel like you're worth. Now you're starting to really see what is the value and price and benefits that my clients are getting as a result of the work. And I'm going to so if somebody all of a sudden, we'll make an example, you're working with people and they're doubling their incomes left and right, and they're gaining $50,000, $100,000, $1 million, whatever that is, and you're starting to now calculate and look at what is the value of what I'm delivering as regard to outcomes, that starts to shift your perspective in what your fees are.
Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and play this session. And this will answer the question of what McDonald's French fries have to do with your EFT business.
And so now I'm here with Mary, and Mary, you wrote me that you were having some issues around asking people to pay you for packages. Is that what's going on?
Yes, I have no trouble when it comes to, an individual session price, but when it comes to packages, I have a very difficult time asking for that.
Okay, and how much do you charge per session?
I charge $150 per session, and then the reason I upped it to that was so then people would go into the packages more.
Right.
But I find that they're still paying the $150 per session.
Sure. And how long are your sessions?
They tend to run, an hour, 75, probably 75 minutes.
Okay. So I'm just curious. So they tend to run. So you don't have an exact time?
I do not. I shoot for an hour, but I'm not as good at setting that boundary, so I do tend to go over.
Yeah. So when I see that, and this is something I'll just give you to work on your own, is that's a big red question mark for me, and something worth looking into about self-worth, about am I giving them enough, because it's your time, and you should have a very set amount of time, and train yourself to end on time, and that way your clients will honor that boundary as well.
Perfect. Yeah, because that is something I'm working on.
Yeah, because they will feel like they're shortchanged when you don't go over. When you set the 75 minutes, and then let's say you've been doing all along that you're just like there's a lot of wiggle room there, then they're going to feel shortchanged the time that you do set that clear boundary.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. So, however, the deal that we want to work on today is the selling of the packages. So what are your package rates?
I have 3 of them. So let me grab them. Shoot, I don't have them right in front of me. You want me to run and grab them?
Yeah, I want to know the exact amount.
Okay.
All right, you got it?
I got it.
Okay, what is it?
So I have 3 different packages. There's a 6-month empowerment coaching package at $1,500. There's a 4-month at $950 and a 2-month at $450.
At $450. And so how many sessions is that per month?
Well, it's not. I have different things other than sessions. So like the 2-month one is 3 sessions. They get some handouts, and then I also do like a group coaching call, and I let them, jump in on one of those calls. And then the 6-month one, I have 11 sessions. I have some handouts. I have 2 15-minute check-in calls, and then they get. Do you need to know everything that's in?
No. I don't need to know it. I don't need to know it all. What I want to ask you is, how good do you feel about the content of your different packages?
I feel very good about that. I definitely have put time into it, and what I'm going to put into each package. The only thing that trips me up is saying the price. Right.
Okay, so let's go for it. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you are talking to a potential client about your different packages, and you're going to talk about the 2-month package and the 4-month package and the 6-month package and their prices. And let me hear the internal dialogue there.
I immediately go to, they can't afford it. They don't want to spend that money up front. Just as we're talking now, and I don't think I've really ever heard this little voice before, but I just heard, what if you can't deliver? Mm-hmm. That's a new one. That's honestly a new one. I hadn't heard that one before.
Okay.
But that just popped in.
Okay.
But it's more, I have this idea that they can't afford me.
Okay. And have you ever had any clients say, potential clients say that to you?
Well, when I did, I started off as a massage therapist, and when I finally raised my rates after doing, much work around that, I finally raised my rates, and I knew that some people would probably leave, and they did.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them left?
No, not a lot, but, and they were the ones that I knew would leave, because whenever they would go to pay me, even when I had a lower rate, they would say, oh, I'd love to come more often, but I can't afford it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And is there anyone that that just left your massage practice that you still feel kind of unresolved around?
No, actually, the ones that left, I was okay with them leaving, because I didn't like the way that felt. I hated when they would be paying me and they'd be saying that.
Sure.
And it didn't feel good to me, so I was actually happy that they left, but yeah.
And what was the result of you bumping up your prices? Did you continue to have a thriving massage practice?
Yes, I did. I did have some people who, would still every now and again, just kind of say, oh, I'd come more often, or I'd love to come more often, but I can't afford it, and things like that. So, okay. And it's not a lot so much anymore, but it was after I had raised the prices. So I think there's that instilled in me that fear of raising prices.
Sure. And so we know that when we have our own businesses, that anything that's showing up as clients, saying things to us repeatedly, that's a pattern which just reflects how we are feeling about ourselves. That's just what shows up. If you own a business, how people interact with you, what they say, how they come to you or don't come to you, all of that is a reflection of how we're really feeling internally about this. And this is verified because you're telling me I'm afraid that they can't afford me. So
right.
Yeah. So when you think about that, and let's go for the gusto here. Let's go for the $1,500 package.
Okay.
And when you're thinking about someone telling them it's $1,500 for my 6-month package, tell me where you feel any constriction or tightness or uneasiness in your body.
Well, it's funny because when I'm not saying it to anybody or saying it to you, like I feel like they would get great value. So I'm okay with even looking at that and saying that, but it's the minute that I get in that conversation, then I feel it right in the gut.
Okay. Can you make it come up in your gut right now? Just imagining yourself there.
All right, just a second here. Okay. Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, it's in your gut.
It's in the gut.
All right. And it's fear that they can't afford you, they're going to say no. Or something else.
Yeah, not even that they're going to say no. It's just, that they can't afford it.
Okay. And it's not that they're going to say no. It's that you somehow, in your magic ball, know that they just can't afford it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. All right. Let's just play with this. So I want you to tap on the side of your hand. Okay. And repeat after me, and if I ask you to say anything that doesn't sound true, you like to say in a different way, something else comes up, please feel free at any point to just jump right in.
Okay.
All right, even though I feel all of this fear in my gut.
Even though I feel all of this fear in my gut.
They can't afford it.
They can't afford it.
Saying that my 6-month package is $1,500.
Saying that my 6-month package is $1,500.
They're going to say they can't afford it.
They're going to say they can't afford it.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. Top of the head. I'm afraid they can't afford it.
I'm afraid they can't afford it.
I tap on the center of the forehead. So tap there. They can't afford it.
They can't afford it.
Eyebrow. This fear they can't afford it.
This fear. You know what's coming up? It's not that they can't afford it. This fear that they can't afford me, like me personally.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like can't afford me. That's what I keep hearing when I'm saying they can't afford it.
Right.
It's they can't afford me.
Great. Side of the eye. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Under the eye. Charging $1,500 for 6 months.
Charging $1,500 for 6 months.
Under the nose. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Chin point. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Collarbone. I'm afraid they can't afford me.
I'm afraid they can't afford me.
Under the arm. This fear in my gut.
This fear in my gut.
Good. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
I want you to see if it's still there in your gut.
It's already lessened.
0 to 10.
Where before it was probably at a 7, now it's probably at a 4.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that other than they can't afford me?
No, like near the end when we were doing it, I almost started to laugh like, oh my God, $1,500 for 6 months? That's not a lot of money.
Okay. Okay. But there's still something there if it's a 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's tap on the side of the hand again. Even though I feel this fear in my gut,
Even though I feel this fear in my gut,
I'm afraid they can't afford me.
I'm afraid they can't afford me.
$1,500 for 6 months' work.
$1,500 for 6 months' work.
They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. Top of the head. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Center of the forehead. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Eyebrow. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Side of the eye. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Under the eye. They can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Under the nose. Feeling all of this fear.
Feeling all of this fear.
Chin point when I tell them I'm $1,500 for 6 months' work.
When I tell them I'm $1,500 for 6 months' work,
Collarbone, I'm afraid they're going to say they can't afford me.
I'm afraid they're going to say they can't afford me.
Under the arm, they can't afford me.
They can't afford me.
Take a deep breath.
It's definitely going down. It's now I'm just kind of like thinking like, why am I believing this?
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine having that conversation and telling someone that you have a 6-month package that's $1,500.
Okay.
And is there any fear, resistance, constriction, anything like that happening in your gut?
Just a little bit of constriction, a little bit of tightness.
All right, let's talk to that tightness and what is it saying? If it wants to add another piece here, what would it be?
It might be something about not being able to fully deliver. I don't even know what that really means.
Okay.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's so low that it's
Okay.
struggling. Okay.
All right. So this came up when we were talking earlier. So there's a fear that you won't be able to deliver. What do you specialize in?
I do some of the EFT and lifeline techniques. Specialize in working with women who pretty much are in transition. They're exhausted. They're frustrated. They've pretty much taken care of everyone else's needs above their own, and they're ready to step back into their own lives.
Okay. And so your feeling is that you won't be able to have them feel at peace with being in transition or going beyond transition in those 6 months?
You know what? It's already shifting as we're talking, because no, it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This is going to sound crazy, but all of a sudden, like I feel more empowered, like all of a sudden, because I know I can deliver. So I'm not sure where this little tiny piece was coming from.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes a little coaching to get you to see that, how ludicrous it is.
Yeah, that's how it's feeling now. It's like, it's crazy. And if they really can't afford it, then I'll attract somebody else who can. I mean, it's funny how it's shifting rather quickly for me here now.
Okay. I want you to say, I can deliver.
I can deliver.
I can help someone in 6 months.
I definitely can help someone in 6 months.
$1,500 is a steal.
$1,500 is a steal.
Do you feel congruent with that?
I do.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I know. It's like, it's crazy. It's, you know what? I really think it was that initial massage, that my raising my rates and having that reaction, even though I anticipated it. I think it just, that was that last little piece that was so stuck.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go just a little bit deeper because I'm still feeling that there's some little piece that needs to be resolved. So I want you to tap on your finger points and your karate chop point. We're going to do some matrix.
Yep. Okay.
And keep tapping on your finger points and karate chop point repeatedly over and over and over again. And when you feel comfortable doing it, you can, if you choose, you can close your eyes.
Okay.
And I want you to go find a Mary back then that has raised her rates, and suddenly someone is saying, "Oh, I can't afford that. I can't see you again. I can't reschedule."
Yep, I know exactly where it is.
Okay, good. So you see that Mary. I want you to know that she's a separate part of you, and you're going to see her as separate. So where do you see that Mary?
You mean physically? Where is she?
Yes, yes. Where is she physically?
Standing by the front door with the client who's just finished and ready to leave.
Okay. And she has just told this particular client that she's raised her rates?
Yeah, this client knew before she walked in the door.
Okay.
So like, yeah.
And so there's that what, hesitation or something at the end there?
Yeah, just that reminder that, oh, remember my rates have gone up and this is the new price.
Okay, and what was the client's reaction?
No real reaction, like no shock or surprise other than handing over the check and just saying, yeah, I wish I could come more, but I can't afford it.
Okay. All right, so I want you at that point to just go ahead and continue to tap on your finger points and karate chop point, and I want you to freeze the client.
Yep.
And I want you, Mary, on Skype here with me today, to go back in to that room with the other Mary.
Uh-huh.
And I want you to ask that Mary what she's feeling after hearing that comment. And then relay that information back to me.
Just low self-worth, feeling, feeling just not worthy of taking that woman's money if she's saying she can't afford it.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of guessing here, and you'll just see if that Mary confirms this or not, but ask that Mary if this is really related to something much earlier in her background.
She said yes, but she's not exactly sure what.
Okay. So so the feeling is she's not worthy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to take Mary's hand, and I want you to tap on the side of it.
Well, it's interesting. I just have to it's not as she's not worthy. It just has to do with some money. Like it's not in other areas or anything. It's just something around that money piece.
Right.
Okay.
I'm getting that, and I'm getting a strong feeling that this is, real early childhood stuff. But
yeah, can I just tell you what just came up?
Yeah.
I don't even know how old I was. I know I was young because I can just see me as young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of 7 kids,
mm-hmm.
and we had gone to McDonald's, and I remember I see myself clearly standing there to order, and I did not order French fries because I thought that my dad couldn't afford it, which he could, but he couldn't afford it because there were so many of us kids. So I denied myself French fries.
All right. Great. I want you to go to that McDonald's.
Okay, that makes me teary. So this is something. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be very helpful to that little Mary if you can separate yourself.
Yep.
From what she's feeling.
Yep, I got it.
Super. I want you to freeze everybody else in the restaurant.
Yep.
I want you to connect with little Mary. Approximately how old is she?
Probably 6, 7.
Do you see her clearly?
Yep.
What does she look like?
She looks kind of quiet, kind of shy. Not just doesn't draw a lot of attention to herself. Just kind of standing there.
Does she have long hair or short hair?
No, shorter hair.
She's got red hair?
No, it's short. It's like a light brown.
Great. Okay, great. So I want you to connect with her and keep tapping on your finger points and karate chop point. Just connect with her and silently or aloud tell her that you're here from the future, that you're here to help her out and explain who you are.
Okay, she's fine with that.
Great. And tell her that you're gonna help her out here with this tool that you've brought from the future.
Okay, she likes that.
Great. Ask her what she's feeling in that moment when she's denying herself those French fries.
Really sad.
Yeah, sad. All right, so take her hand. You're going to tap on the side of it.
Yeah.
And you're going to say out loud on her behalf, even though you're feeling all of this sadness.
Even though you're feeling all of this sadness.
I'm here to help you.
I am here to help you.
You're going to be okay.
You're going to be okay.
Even though you're feeling all of this sadness.
Even though you're feeling all of this sadness.
You're still a wonderful girl.
You're still a wonderful girl.
And I'm here to help you through this.
And I'm here to help you through this.
Even though you're feeling all of this sadness.
Even though you're feeling all of this sadness.
You're going to be okay.
You're going to be okay.
Good. Go ahead and tap on her points and tell me where the sadness is showing up in her body. Can you see it?
In her heart.
Does it have a color?
It's a light pink.
Okay. So tapping on her points, this sadness in your heart.
This sadness in your heart.
This light pink sadness in your heart.
This light pink sadness in your heart.
This 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 sadness in your heart.
Good. Go back to just tapping on yourself or your finger points and your karate chop point, and just take a check and see how she's doing with that sadness.
Oh, it's definitely lightened up.
Okay, good. And so she doesn't believe that her dad can afford French fries for her.
Yeah, because of already buying everything for all the other 6 kids.
Mm-hmm. And so, what from your perspective, what do you want to tell her about that?
That's crazy. That Dad can definitely afford to buy you French fries, and that he's happy to buy the French fries for you. He wants you to be happy and enjoy your lunch.
Very good. Does she get it?
Not really.
Okay, let's ask her why.
Because Mom doesn't work and there's so many bills to pay.
How does she know that at age 6 or 7?
There's just a kind of a quiet, almost like she, like nothing was ever said. It's just, that's her, just how she perceives it. Because Mom doesn't work and there's a lot of kids, and it's almost, I don't know, does that make sense? It's almost like she just perceives that.
Okay. So let's ask little Mary how she can perceive things to be different here in this McDonald's. What would she like to experience? What would have her feel a lot better about asking for French fries? And she'll know, so ask her.
Yeah, if Dad just says, Mary, don't you want to buy French fries with your hamburger? Go ahead.
Yeah, good. That's easy. All right, so have that happen, and you keep tapping on your finger points and karate chop point, and just watch.
Okay. You know what? She says, no, that's okay.
Okay, so let's ask her what needs to happen so that she can feel good about asking for the French fries getting the French fries, deserving the French fries. Let's ask little Mary what needs to happen for her to feel that way.
Wow, I think she needs her mom to tell her that it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad knows. Dad knows he's got the money, but Mom's not working, and she needs to hear it from Mom.
Great. So go ahead and have that happen, and you watch.
She's like, okay. She had to hear it from Mom.
Okay. So let's have her order those French fries and really enjoy eating those French fries.
Well, she's happy. She's moving up to the line, and she's just kind of smiling, knowing she's going to get French fries with her hamburger.
Good. All right. I want you to put your hand at your heart center, and I want you to tap at the back of the hand at the gamut point.
Okay.
And I want you to bring in those positive images of that girl asking for what she wants, having her mother tell her it's fine, and just really enjoying those French fries, knowing that she's worth it and that her dad can afford it.
Yeah, I see her kind of just swinging her legs, eating the French fries.
Excellent. All right, bring all of that sensory information, the sight, smells, sounds, tastes, colors, all entering into the top of your head, rewiring all the neural pathways with the knowledge that things have changed. Send that down to all the cells of your body from the top of your head down to your toes. Bring that into your heart center, that fun picture of that girl swinging her legs and feeling great and happy. And make all those feelings stronger. If you see any color, light, make that stronger. And then go ahead and exhale all of that through your heart, sending it 360 degrees out in every direction.
Okay.
Excellent. You can stop tapping and open your eyes.
I'm smiling.
Very good. Very good. All right. I want you to go back and close your eyes and see that girl McDonald now. And what do you see now? How is the picture changed from the original one?
Oh, it's totally different. Now I don't see her even standing in the line, feeling sad. I just see her just eating her lunch and talking. So it definitely moved away from that initial. That's how I would just always seen it in my mind, just standing there in line before ordering. But now the order's been done. She's happy. She's eating it. It's all good. She's able to just move on.
Excellent. Okay. I want you to imagine another conversation with a potential client going over your rates, and you get to the top package. It's $1,500 for 6 months. And I want you to tell me if there's anything that makes you feel incongruent with asking for that.
No, and I don't feel the constriction in my gut. I almost feel more relaxed even about just having the conversation and allowing them to, whatever they decide. Like I feel relaxed. Even my shoulders, I just feel more relaxed about it.
Great.
Yeah.
So let me just play a role here with you. And so Mary, you want me to pay how much for the 6 months?
For the 6 months of empowerment coaching, it's $1,500 or $260 a month. If you would like to pay it all at once, there is that savings.
Well, I don't know if I can afford that.
Well, are you open to talking about this? Let's see, maybe we can come up with some idea of where you could get the money.
Okay. All right, good. So this is excellent. Very good work. Another little coaching tip that I'm going to give you is that when someone says that they can't afford it, instead of you trying to come up with ways that they can, it's better that your potential client comes up with that. And instead go back to asking questions and engaging them and saying things like, do you see how this could be very valuable for you at this point in your life? So the results that you would see are, and just continue the conversation about the value of having somebody committed to their success for a whole 6 months.
Okay. Yeah. It feels totally different. I am so grateful to you for that, for going back to that McDonald's experience. That was crazy. That had a big effect on me, more than I realized.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens. All right, thank you, Mary.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Okay, so that was a great session, and one that I had recorded a while ago, in fact, over a year ago. I recorded that for this show, and I never aired it. So, of course, we want to see how these things are in how they play out in real life. That's why it's important to get in touch with those clients and say, how are you doing with the work that we did? So today, knowing the show that was going to come on, I said, let me try to reach out to Mary. And this is what she wrote. So this is a year later, when someone asks for my rates for an EFT session, I always tell them about my 3-session package. I never even mention the individual sessions, and the majority of people sign up for my packages. Those that can't afford it, I thank them, bless them, and wish them well, knowing and trusting that we were not the right fit and that they will find another practitioner who's better suited to work with them. Thank you again for all your help. So that was a year ago, and this is the results of what's happening in her practice.
That is fabulous testing. Fabulous results. Love that.
Yeah. Yes.
Great
Okay,
job.
so we are winding this down. Again, if you want to check out the MBA program, you've got a few more days to jump on board for this 6-month series. And the website is EFTMBA.com, where you can send in your application, and Craig can talk to you and see if it's a good fit for us as well as for you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're done. We're done here.
Great.
And remember to always, what, Craig?
Keep on tapping. Keep